my name is Yola, and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree Merlin Mission 7, Night of the New Magicians. And today we're gonna start reading at Chapter 3, Magic Magicians, and then I'm reading at Chapter 5, okay? Now, are you ready for this one book with a lot of stories? And now, here we go! And first, we can read the Magic Tree Merlin Mission 7, Night of the New Magicians. Chapter 3, Magic Magicians. Wow, said Jack and Annie together inside of the crowd friend grounds. Below the looming Eiffel Tower, a band played a lively march. A fountain shed colored water high into the sky. A small train trembled through the crowd, blowing its whistle. People of all gaze of the many different countries, bird chirps about the twilight. Everyone seemed to be having fun, but reading from guiding books, strolling from an end of it or another, or buying refreshments or souvenirs. We can't see much from here, said Annie. It's hard to know what is going. What about the little train, said Jack. Maybe we could ride on it and get a good look at everything. Great idea, said Annie. The train whistle blew again. Over there, said Jack. He pointed to the clear space of the passengers are getting off the train and another passengers are boarding. Hurry, said Jack. They raced to the train and jumped on. And Annie dug to her pocket and took it out some coins. She held up them to the conductor, and he took a few, and Jack and Annie squeezed into the seats on the wooden bench. A whistle blew, the steam sputtered into the smokestack, and the small train began to move. Look for anything about magic or magicians, said Jack as the train slowly trickled through the World's Fair. The tour guide voice blared from the microphone. Welcome to the World's Fair sightseeing train. On your ride, you will witness the excruciating history of the human statues as seen nowhere else. In the every age, the buildings have a style and beauty. The train trickled tapped by the cave dwellings and canvas tanks and the haunts to make of the mud. Magic magicians, Jack thought as he looked at the different statues. No. The train passed through the Thatcher's cottage, a mission of the Carminis, and the palace with a huge golden dome. No, Jack thought. Now we will visit many lands of the world, said the tour guide. First, Egypt. The train trundled past the outdoor cafe. The smells of green meat of the rich coffee filled with the air. 3 women built over their faces dancing to the flute music. No magicians there, thought Jack. And next we have an African ballad of the beautiful Serpentine Plain, said the tour guide. They had passed the treasure of the huntsville by the tall grass. People played drums and shook the gourd rattles. Still no magicians, like Jack. Now we have visited the New Year festival in the faraway China, said the guide. The train trickled by the Chinese organ bands of the huge dancing red dragon. Dragons are sort of magic, aren't they? Said Annie, looking back. It's a couple of the guys in the costumes, said Jack. It doesn't count. Or on our left is the museum Moko Stroll, said the tour guide. On left, the tour guide said on right, a Burgess temple of the excursive Japanese garden. No, murmured Jack. The train passed by the show of the doors dressed the Alps from all around the world. Europa, the giant bronze statue of a woman, as amazing creation from Roma's garden Spanish, said the tour guide, is made entirely of chocolate. It's amazing, said Annie. Yeah, but it's not a magic, said Jack. The train had roped by the glove of the word and lasted 3 stories high, and the gobble was turning slowly. See the lovely mountains of the deserts, rivers, and the oceans of earth, said the tour guide. This is our fair really of leaving Acropla. And he said, but Acropla doesn't have we need to find, said Jack. He sighed and started trembling to the guidebook. Ah, fantastic, the train passenger said. Shocking, said another. Magical, exclaimed another. And Jack looked up. Did someone just say magical? He asked Annie. False alarm, said Annie. We're talking about the Eiffel Tower. The train came to stop. All the passengers were gazing up the pink lights and the huge arches or base of the tower. The Eiffel Tower just built exactly like this on the World's Fair, said the tour guide. The tower is nearly 1,000 feet high, making it the tallest structure of the world today. Some of you may want to leave us a closer look at the Paris newest miracle, and the people begin climbing off the train. Maybe we should get off here too, said Jack. This train isn't much help. And Jack and Annie have jumped out of the train just before the whistle blew and started moving again. The tall tower, said Jack, looking up. Really tall, breathed Annie. The iron rose into the crisscross patterns of the high into the sky. The large elevators climbed up to the tower lacy ironwork. Powerful spotlights gleamed to the top of the tower, sweeping long fingers up to the light over city. It would be fun to ride at the top in one of those elevators, said Annie. I know, but we don't have time, said Jack. We have to find our 4 new magicians before the evil suckers find them. I wonder if he is here yet, said Annie, and Jack and Annie looked around at the people busily moving from the fairgrounds and going from an elbow to another, and the parents are holding their children's hands and pointing to the tower. Couples are twirling their arms, and everyone seemed happy and excited. No one looks like an evil sucker, sighed Jack. No one looks like a magician of sound or magic light and magic of the invisible or magical of the iron either. And Jack thought of the intrude by the young girl's voice. You see, Papa is magic. Magic, said Jack. He and Annie looked at each other. Over there, said Annie. She pointed to the nearby attic. A little girl is laughing as her father pressed a pair of the fists against his ears. And Jack and Annie walked closer to the elbow. It's possibly unbelievable, Mimi, said the man, shaking his head. It's magic, isn't it, Papa? Said girl. It can send the boys 1,000 miles, said he. Grabbled Annie's arm. Do you hear what she said? She whispered, send the boys 1,000 miles, says magicians of sounders. Right, said Jack. He looked at the sign of the Albert. He said the telephone, a new adventure of the Alexander of the Grand Bell. Oh, she's about to... Oh, yes. She's talking about the telephone, said Jack. I guess it was just been invented. So Alexander Graham Bell must be half the magicians of the sound, said Annie. Oh man, do you think that Alexander Graham Bell's here in person? Said Jack. I will ask, said Annie. She walked to the gray-haired woman helping with the elevator. Excuse me, but do you know where we can find Alexander Graham Bell? I am afraid he just left, said the woman. Where did he go? Said Annie. I don't know, said the woman. A strange man gave me the invitations to give from the Mr. Bell, and the Mr. Bell read it, and he left once. It's the all I know. Excuse me, the woman turned away to answer someone else's question. Alexander Graham Bell, Jack said to Annie. He's the most famous inventor, not a magician. The evil sucker just had heard about the telephone died as a magic. Said Annie, I wonder where the invitation says. Said Jack, why is it the lady said it does not message her out? It's strange. Let's ask, said Annie, and Annie had tapped to the gray-haired woman out of the arm. Excuse me, we have two more questions, she said. Do you know where's the invitation, and why did you say the manager is strange? I do not know what the invitation says, replied the woman, but the man who described the dress long dark cloak. He wore a hood on most of his face and spoke in a deep whispery voice. And Jack felt a chill go down his spine. So that's where the evil stalker looks like, he thought. Just like you'd accept. Sounds like a stalker, and he whispered to Jack. I know, said Jack, looking around. Do you have any idea where the strange man in the clock went? And he said to the woman. He asked for the directions of the whole of machines, said the woman. Where's that? Said Jack. Is that here at the fair? Yes, of course. Here. This is the gigantic building and made with the glass. Can you see the roof? Said the woman, pointing to the arched glasses of the roof from looming above the fair buildings in the distance. I see it, said Annie. Good, said the woman. Excuse me now. Not help with another people. Sure, thanks, said Annie. Let's go, she said to Jack, and she started walking quickly to the fairgrounds. Wait, said Jack, and hurrying after her. Her manager is a stalker, and I just know it, said Annie. Of course he is, said Jack, but what do we do to find him? I don't know yet, said Jenny. It might be dangerous, said Jack. We need to make a plan. We need to find him first, said Annie, before he gets away. Hurry! And she broke on into a run dashes through the whole of machines. Now it's chapter 4, Wizard of the Menlo Park. Now, let's start reading the chapter 4, Weasel of the Menlo Park now. Jack ran after Annie. He caught up to her outside huge building made with glass. She was standing in the line waiting to buy tickets. Listen, said Jack breathlessly, we've got to make a plan. If we have suddenly found with a searcher, who do we say him? What if he tries to use the powers against us? Use the remind, said Jack. Which remind, said Jack. Now many children intrude the ticket seller, and they have reached in the front of the line. 2, please, said Annie, holding some coins. The man had given her 2 coins, and Annie turned back to Jack. Let's go inside and see if we can find the circle, and we can figure out which remind. Okay, but cool, said Jack, so Circle doesn't notice us. And Jack and Annie walked to the entrance of the glass building. Oh man, whispered Jack. And the whole of machines, size in the football stadium. It was filled with thousands of people and dozens of machines. More they rolled, and the wheels spun. Gears clanked. What kind of places is this? Said Annie, and Jack pulled out the guidebook and read aloud. The whole of machines. You will see the machines from all over the world, bring alive from the engineers and inventors. You will see how cloth is seen by the machines and made in the cloth. You will see an average of the emerald power by some Galestone. If of course you see the collections of invitations by the American Grand Prize winner from Menlo Park, New Jersey. Look at this, Annie interrupted. She pointed at the mechanical walkway overhead and the walkway circle enter of the Albert Hall. The sightseers gaze down of the Alberts, and we can get a look at everything from up there. Good, said Jack. Maybe we can spot the soccer. He put away from the guidebook and led away upstairs. And they have stepped to the crowd moving, walked away, peered outside of the people, smiling over to the embricked hall below. There's a lot of men dressing like a black coats and the top of the hats. They're American cowboys and beard arched and row his headcloths. But Jack see a single of the scary guy into the whole club. As Jack and Annie moved slowly over to the Elbits, there grew hotter sounds into the hall, grew louder, and hammers hammered, and the sirens blew, and the blang rail, and the whistles whistled, and the voices of the sightseers scrolled around Jackson and Annie. What genius, the age of the machines, the wizards of the Menlo Park. Did you hear that? Annie shouted to Annie. Someone said about the wizard. I heard, said Jack. The mirror of the wizard of the Menlo Park. Just have read something about the Menlo Park. He pulled out the guidebook and found the page he had been read, and he read aloud. And of course you see the collections of invitations by the American Grand Prize winner of the Menlo Park, a few of the history of the Thomas Evilla Edison. The Thomas Evilla Edison, said Jack, is one of the most brilliant inventors who have lived. What is the Elvet? And they have looked down the booth. Directly below them to the booth was a big sign of the isn't there. Let's go down, said Annie. When the moving of the walkway came to the staircase, Jack and Annie jumped out and hurried down the main floor, squeezing past people when they went. Okay, where is it? Said Annie, looking around. Follow me, said Jack. He led her down at the wide assault until he came to the assault Albert, and a lot of people were gathering around the booth. As Jack and Annie slipped through the crowd of the Get Good Look, and many of the Thomas Edison invitations were displayed. One of them had a big tube and a lot of switches above a sign photograph. What is a photograph? I think it's old-fashioned CD player. I said Jack, it's just a thing. We have played the recording of the music. Said photograph. And there's down of the wiggling face. It's incredible, he said to the woman beside him. Now we can hear the dead sing. What does that mean? Said Annie to Jack. I guess that means even after die, you still be able to hear the voices on the recordings. Said Jack. I never thought of that. Said Annie. Shh. Someone said people are trying to listen to the man describing to a switch of crowd. His name is Ted and Henry. Oh yes, indeed, said Henry. Was saying the Thomas Evilla Edison of the Menlo Park, New Jersey, USA, and been invited to the photograph shown as public from the first time at the Paris World's Fair, and Mr. Edison have came to him by many other things too. And Henry looked other display of the booth, and the light bulb had a switch, and he clicked the switch, turning to the bulb off. 10 years ago, the engineers worked at a dozen of experiments, and Thomas Alva Edison embodied to the instincts of the light bulb, said Henry. And when the electricity stove that went through it very hot, there's the oxygen of the glass bulb. However, the fire grows but not burn, and the others move closer to the light bulb to get a good look. And Jack and Annie too. He's the fires grow, but they do not burn, said Annie. Said Jack whispered. The Thomas Allison of the magic of light. I know, said Annie. She turned to Henry. Excuse me, Mr. Anson Menlo Park now. She said, no, it's the matter of the fact. Mr. Edison was the elevate of just a short while ago, said Henry. Do you know where it is now? Said Jack. No, all I know is just invited to the party he left, said Henry, and Jack left off the hair of the neck go off. Oh, there's soccer, he said. The strange manager of the club delivered the invitation, said Annie. Why, yes, said Henry. Do you know where's the manager we left here? said Jack. He asked from the directions of the preacher in Steve, and that is all I know, said Henry. Is the preacher of the Steve, said Jack. Where is that? But Henry did not answer. Another boy had asked him the questions about the light bulb. Come on, said Annie to Jack. We'll find it somehow, said Jack and Annie from the Ellison elevator, and thereafter Henry repeating of the such a word of wood. And from the years ago, after years of work and a dozen of experiments, Thomas Alva Edison invited at the escapes of the light bulb. Now it's chapter 5. Hello. And tomorrow we start reading at chapter 5 and the end of reading at chapter 7 or chapter 6. Okay, now did you have fun? Your last English country. I've come back with this book, but not this story because it might be a new chapter to read, okay? And please thumbs up my YouTube. Bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice day. Bye!